Nothing. I'm waiting for this unveiling.
Unveiling?
This big box.
You mean like?
No.
No.
I mean, no. Is that okay? I mean, let's cut this sucker open. Whoops, can you say that? Cut this big box open and see what's in it.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Almost.
What do we need to do?
Hi everybody, it's Chip and Rob are in the shop. And it is a big day here for us, and it's a big day for Contentment. Because it has finally come in, and this is our first unboxing, hopefully the first of many that will occur for the sake of Contentment. But this is to the E-chip. This is huge. Is it huge for you too?
It's the biggest thing ever in the history of the world. It's a mystery box.
But you know what's in it.
I don't know what it really looks like though. I've never seen one up close and personal.
We're about to unbox a 12 kilowatt, 48 volt whole house inverter. Well, first off, folks, I wanted to show you the kind of condition that this came in. There used to be a skid pad here and one on the other end, but the truck driver who delivered it told me that the one skid pad came off as he was trying to get it off the truck right here at the shop, and then the other one did come off in the shop. So they assured me it was mostly intact during transit. We're going to open this up and find out exactly what kind of shapes. I thought I'd also show you just what kind of shape the packaging comes in. It looks like it's pretty well packed. It's got some good tough corners on it. These red straps are here, and they're designed so that they can be removed and put back in case customs people want to look at the machine. They can, you know, pack it back if they want to. But all in all, I mean, the packaging isn't too bad. Sorry. All in all, the packaging isn't too bad on this. Seems to be in decent shape. I'm sure the inverter inside's in pretty decent shape.
Look how strong E-chip is. That weighs 475 pounds.
No, it doesn't. It weighs 193 pounds.
Well, I was trying to make you look very strong.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I really like these straps. I'll keep these. I think they're nice.
Here, let me get a close-up.
The anticipation's killing me. It's making me wait. It's keeping me waiting.
Are you super pumped? Super excited?
I'm excited.
I want to rip plastic.
Okay.
Can I just go and rip and rip?
Here, if you need a knife, take it. Yeah, but
Be careful.
I'll take the red straps.
I know. I don't want to rip the plastic.
You can cut these.
I can cut the greens?
You bet.
Okay, ready?
Go for it. Oh, red and green. It's like a Christmas present.
It is. It's my Christmas present early.
It is?
That was lame.
Oh my.
I wanted to rip.
What do we do?
Rip it good.
What do we do?
Oh, is it a lift up?
Oh, wait a minute. There's something here that we can... Yeah, let's get some video on this.
Is it a lift up?
This is the information on it. Here's the information packet on this. Sort of a little label for the box.
This side up.
Got my order number on there. Got my Made in China sticker. Pure sine waveform inverter and charger. 48 volt DC. 120 amp max charger. 240 volt AC. It's a split phase electric shock. Do not remove cover. That's a good idea, folks. Particularly if the capacitors have been charged.
Will it be charged?
No.
Oh.
Shouldn't be. They should have drained the capacitor before they shipped it.
Like the flux capacitor from Back to the Future?
Exactly. Okay, folks. Okay, folks, here we go. Oh. something with it.
And now you go. Ta-da!
Ta-da! It's foam and cardboard.
With red and black covers.
Oh, what is this? It's an LCD. And we'll go through each of these.
An LCD monitor?
It's a remote panel. Okay, so we've got a battery charger cable, a battery temperature sensor that came with this. We've got our owner's manual, and this is an, oh, what's your question?
My question is, that looks like a phone cable on one end.
Uh-huh. I think, what do they call it, an RJ232 or an RJ245 or something like that, yes. It plugs into the bottom of the inverter. Yeah. And then we have an LCD panel, a remote panel, in case you want to stick that away in a closet or something like that. You can have this panel to read off the information, you know, the performance information separately to location.
Is that a wired device?
Yes. Foam. So far, this packing looks really good. I mean, it looks like they've done a good job protecting this thing in transit. We've got a nice Sigineer packet here, keep it nice and dry while it was at sea. This was shipped from China, and we have the battery terminal. Battery cable covers for the terminals on this. You want to help me? Okay. Nice foam packaging, good shape. All right, here we go. Help me out here, Oliver. You ready?
Ta-da! It's beautiful!
It's a nice looking machine.
It does look good.
It was well packed and appears to be in really good condition. It's brand new, it better be. But yeah, I mean, it's inset inside this crate where it can't shift around, and it was surrounded by foam. Looks like it was really well packed, except for the skids on the bottom, which came off. But I mean, there were several nails holding it in. It's just one of those things, I guess. But looks like a really nice machine. They didn't put their logo on it though, which I'm kind of sad about. Did you just try to bite me?
No, I was blowing because I saw dust, but it's not dust, but yeah, it is.
But anyway, first impression of the case is that it's in really good shape. I don't see any scratches, marring. It appears to be brand new, like it's supposed to be. And appears to be in really good shape. Well, folks, I thought I'd get a close-up picture of the bottom of the inverter so that you can see this business end and see all that's here, because there's a lot here to consider. And so you can think of the left side of the inverter as the DC side, and the right side over here is the AC side. So you've got your two DC input leads from your batteries, and then of course you have the AC outlet over here. This little set of DIP switches, DIP switches, these control things like when it's a low battery, when the inverter shuts off, the range of AC input that's allowed from, you know, the AC side of the inverter. It's got a power saver override and frequency switch, whether it's 50 or 60 megahertz, depending on where in the world you are, and whether you're going to do battery or AC priority. This really nice little set of dip switches here allows you to control all that, and then also the charge current control. You can actually control, you know, the amount of voltage that's coming in to the batteries. So that's kind of nice. The next thing to point out would be this battery temperature sensor jack, and I can't remember what kind of jack they call that. I think it's an RS232 or something like that. allows you to plug in the battery temperature sensor, run it to the batteries. That helps with managing the charge. A nice feature there. Also, this really cool inverter is set up with a 2-wire system for a generator. So let's say you want to use a generator to charge your batteries when the sun's low, or you're running low on power or whatever. The system is set up to automatically send a signal via 2 wires to your generator, so to automatically start your generator and begin to feed into the inverter and begin to charge your batteries, run your equipment, things like that. This inverter also comes with an optional remote control LCD screen, and this little RJ45 jack here is where you would plug that in. So, and when I ordered this, I opted for the the optional LCD screen, so I'll be able to plug that in there and then run it to my LCD screen, control the controller in case this is enclosed somewhere where I can't get to it. Here's a picture of the optional LCD screen that I ordered to go with it. You can just mount this to the outside of a box or a container or anything, run the wire via the RJ45 jack to there, and be able to manage the controller, or at least see what's going on without having to actually tear into a closet or container wherever it's at. This is a breaker switch for your input, and that's because this is an inverter charger, meaning that it can double as a battery charger or a universal power supply, I should say uninterrupted power supply when power goes out. Preserve your equipment. Hooks up to 230 volts, 240, and can actually be used to charge your batteries or keep your critical things running. But that's what this switch is for. Control that 80 amp switch. And then there are breaker switches here for the AC output side of the converter, taking your DC power, throwing it out to whatever things you're going to run. This area down here, these are called glands. This is not used, this is just a placeholder in here because this inverter has the option to install 2 MPPT charge controllers in it back inside of this, and that would be a hookup for that, where you would install the power coming from your photovoltaics or your solar panels, and this would be like an auxiliary output DC if you want to run a little light or something like that. And then here we have the output. Now this is what's known as a split phase inverter. Split phase means that it will put out both 120 and 240 volt. So if you have, things like a dryer that runs on 240, or a large power tool like my table saw that runs on 220, 240, then you could run both that and 110 applications as well. So you can run both off of this. It's a really nice design. This is a great looking, beefy monster of an inverter. It's very heavy. I have not cracked the case on this, and I won't. And there are other reviews out there that have cracked the case on this to show you what's inside, but there is an enormous copper transformer inside this thing. This is what's known as a low frequency inverter, using transformers that is able to take high inductive loads. Now, a high inductive load is something like a high horsepower motor, say a large piece of machinery, or perhaps an inductive motor like on your furnace that sucks a whole lot of power when it first starts up. It requires an enormous amount of power, and so you got to have a beefy inverter to be able to handle those high inductive loads. I think this inverter, 48 volts, putting out what it does, my guess is this thing could start a 6 horsepower motor and run it under load, no problem. Perhaps even a 10 horsepower motor. And those are big motors. So this is first impression here, looking at the bottom of this thing, this is a very nice inverter with a lot of very nice features in it.
Yo.
I think I might break it.
Don't squeeze too hard.
I don't like this one. Oh, it's stuck on there. Ah!
Yeah, you cut into the copper.
Oops.
You want to do the honors, Rob?
No, this is your thing.
Yeah, but you've helped a lot on it. Go ahead.
Just turn it on.
Flip that switch up to where it says saver. Let's turn on power saver mode first and see what it does.
Okay.
Oh!
Ah! We have lights.
How's it doing? Welcome! Welcome!
Something's wrong.
It says the AC is abnormal. And it's showing no hertz. It says it's in inverter mode, which is what we wanted. And it's showing 51.2 volts out of this 48 volt battery system. Which is normal.
Why is it more than 48 though?
Because it always is. Fully charged batteries. A fully charged 48 volt battery doesn't stay at 48 all the time. It's slightly higher, and then when it drops a voltage, it drops slightly lower before it is fully discharged.
So all of these batteries that you reconditioned, you were worried about, are working the way you want them to work?
Yeah, they are working fine.
Yeah, though.
Flip one of those 15s on.
Does it matter which?
Doesn't matter which.
Ta-da!
Now flip the other one on.
You can't